The name Orange Rockets combines two simple but powerful ideas. The orange reflects on our connection with the Bitcoin and represent energy and innovation. The rocket symbolizes speed, power, and movement and the pursuit of ambitious goals. Together, Orange Rocket catches the spirit of launching athletes towards the full potential, energy, purpose, and determination.
What is going on, everybody? Frank Corva here. We haven't done this podcast in a while. I have been super busy, but there is a story that I have been wanting to help tell for a long time, and that is the story of today's guest, Akhona Mabuto Livingstone, also known in Mossel Bay and globally soon as the Orange Rocket. Akhona, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Frank. How are you?
Doing well. Super excited to have you on. So let me actually give the audience a little bit of an overview of what Akhona does and what he's involved with. So Akhona is a triathlete, an Ironman, or right now a half Ironman distance triathlete with aspirations to be a full Ironman distance triathlete. He's also a member of the Bitcoin Ekasi community. In that community, as I mentioned, he's known as the Orange Rocket. He also works within the Surfer Kids community, which is a nonprofit that's tied to Bitcoin Ekasi, which is super cool. And I believe it's been about 2 years or so now that Akhona has gotten interested in triathlons, started racing triathlons, and really refining his skills, honing his skills, and becoming a really serious competitor in a lot of the races he's involved with. And just for those, I know a lot of people in the Bitcoin space might not be familiar with the sorts of distances that we're talking about here. So for the race that Akhona is kind of specializing in right now, which is a half Ironman, the distances for that triathlon are a 1.9 kilometer swim. That comes out to about a 1.2 mile swim. 90 kilometer bike, which comes out to about 56 miles, and then a 21.1 kilometer run, which is about 13 miles or a half marathon. So no easy task. The work that Akhona is doing is serious. Plus, he's doing this on top of all of his obligations for the Bitcoin Ekasi and Surfer Kids community. So we're going to break all of this down today. But before we dive into all those details, Akhona, I really want people to get a chance to get to know you today. So please tell us a little bit about just your personal background, where you're from, and maybe how you ended up in Mossel Bay.
Yeah. My name is Akhona Mabuto. I'm currently from Eastern Cape. I was born in 1991 in the Eastern Cape. But unfortunately, with the background of Eastern Cape, for our school, it was far for us to walk like a 10 kilometer to the school. So my mother managed to move us to here in Mossel Bay for better education. Yeah, that's when we came here in 1997. Yeah. Then I started my primary school here in Mossel Bay, here in Tiemdana, where most of our kids are going now.
Okay.
The Surfer Kids. Yeah. Then I moved to the high school in Indre. It's also a local high school. Compared to the Eastern Cape, where we have to walk 10 Ks, it was only maybe 2 to 4 kilometers walk.
Understood. Okay. So it's a little bit easier just simply for you to get to school. Just decreasing the distance to get to school obviously is super helpful. Walking back and forth to school every day doesn't sound like a very easy task, especially if you're young and then have to get there and then focus on school and all of that stuff. So I'm happy to hear that. Is that school that you mentioned, the elementary school, is that the school that I visited while I was there? I know we visited one of the public schools. Is that it?
Yes, that's the school.
Oh,
That's
cool.
my grandmother's school.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I was able to visit. I'll leave a note in the show note. I was able to visit Akhona's primary school. When I was there to visit, I wrote a piece on the Bitcoin Ekasi project for Forbes. I'll put that into the show notes as well. And it's really cool to see with Bitcoin Ekasi, they have a very close relationship with the school, which is really cool. They're working closely with the principal and the whole staff at the school. So the school is very well aware of what Surfer Kids is doing and what the Bitcoin Ekasi project is doing. That's super cool to hear. Speaking of those two projects, Akhona, the Surfer Kids and Bitcoin Ekasi, how did you first come to get involved in these projects?
Okay, back in 2001, just after the COVID, I didn't have work that time. Then Lutando, he approached me looking for lifeguards, safety officers for the in the sea, someone to take the children from the location to Diaz Beach. Then I was happy for that approach because I was not working in that time. Yeah, so I told Lutando, yes, I need the work. Then he introduced me to Herman and the Safer Kids and the Bitcoin Ekasi community.
Okay. And Lutando, for those who are unaware, Lutando has been a guest on this podcast. Lutando is the community manager for Bitcoin Akazi. He's one of the people who has onboarded a lot of the stores in the Bitcoin Akazi area to Bitcoin. An absolute legend, great human being, and I'm glad to hear that he was able to bring you into the project. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So you start working with the Surfer Kids. Now, for the Surfer Kids in particular, what are you doing for that dimension of the project? Are you teaching kids to swim, to surf? What kind of work do you do there?
Yeah, for the Safer Kids, I teach them to swim. That's the main goal. That's the main start. Before you can learn to surf, you have to learn to swim first. Be comfortable to the water. If we see you are comfortable to the water, then we can put you on the surfboard where we start with you learning to surf.
Okay. Very, very cool. Also, for everybody listening, you could probably hear some noise in the background. That is the ocean. Right
Yeah,
now, Akhona is in sort of the main area where they teach the kids, like kind of the center that they've built for the Surfer Kids project. So I actually find it really calming. But if you're hearing some background noise, that's just nature. We can't do much about that. So very, very cool. Um, a few years ago, you got interested in racing triathlons. I think it was about 2 years ago now. I remember talking to you about it. So for the audience, also, so that you know, I have raced half Ironman races myself. So I'm familiar with what the training is like. It's very, very difficult. You have to make time in your life to do this sort of training because it takes up a lot of time. It's not just like a very easy hobby to have. But
yeah.
I'm curious to hear, how did you first become interested in triathlons, maybe particularly the half Ironman distance? Where did you learn about this and why did you want to get involved?
Uh, since I'm familiar with the ocean, I was doing life saving back in 2006. But fortunately, I have to step aside because there was not so much action going on in our club. Yeah, there were some times where I get a chance to go to a competition with other clubs in our region where they will just ask you to be a part of their competing club. So that's where my competition mentality came. Uh, so I was only doing swimming, running for the life saving club.
Okay.
But in 2018, if I'm not correct, there was a guy who was busy with triathlon, William Bennett, which is my coach now. He had some guys who needed some swimming skills. So I was giving the skills to the guys. While giving the skills, then the guy asked me if I can also help their club with the swimming. One of the guys was doing running, and the other one was doing cycling. So I was the third one for the swim.
Okay.
Then I got the chance, did my first race in Race to Hermanas, which was 1.5 swim. Then I did well on that. Then he saw a talent there, which I didn't know there was a talent. You see?
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you were doing the life-saving work. Somebody asks you to be in a race, and then you realize, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this. Like, this is something that I want to pursue. Okay.
Yes.
And could you remind me what year was that again?
I think that was 2018.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
and then you didn't start with triathlon, I think, until a little bit later. So what happened between 2018 and then maybe 2023 or 2024?
Actually, I was out of the line. I'm just tell you the truth. I was out of the line.
Okay.
Mm. Because in 2023, the first Ironman here in Mossel Bay,
Oh, okay. Yep.
yeah, I was supposed to go to that Ironman in 2023, but I was still out of line, not on where I was supposed to be, like drinking.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
So when
that
you
was,
when you say out of line, you mean like you weren't completely focused, you weren't in perfect shape to do the race yet? Is that what you mean?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
The,
understood.
mi-
That makes sense.
the mind was still on the location stuff. Yeah, coming. But with Bitcoin Ekasi and these guys around me all the time, that
Okay.
helped me a lot.
Could you so that's I'm interested to hear more there. Lutando told me he also made certain changes in his life. He stopped drinking, spends more time with his child, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So is the atmosphere in Bitcoin Akazi in the surfer kids, can you describe that? Like it seems like it very much it changes people's lives, right? It makes people make certain changes in their lives. Can you tell me a little bit about that process? How and what other changes did you make in your own life?
With these guys, I've made very good choices in life. Like I was not aware of saving money. Only the thing that I know was when we have the money, we have to spend it, spend your whole money. For me, I was only drinking. I was spending my money on only drinking. So Lutando was one of the guys who who stood there by with me since we were coming a long way with him. He was always there with all the support that he can give, waking me up in the morning, checking up on me, because he already have an knowledge what was happening with my life. I was in jail actually on that
Oh, okay.
in that particular time.
Mm.
That's where I realized that I need to make some change, but the change needed some support from other people, which I didn't know they care a lot about me.
Yeah,
Then
I
coming
appreciate that. Yeah.
then coming back, there were some rules and regulations which I needed to follow for me to go through this situation. Yeah, there were then I had to follow those rules, and there were some challenges which didn't go well as I wanted, and also the team wanted. But they kept me pushing up until I realized this need to stop for me and for the team.
So you wanted to make changes in your life, not just to make your own life better, but because you wanted to be a better member of the team.
Yes.
That's admirable. Really, really cool. It's nice to hear that. Obviously, working with Bitcoin, it can have a good financial impact on your life, but it's nice to hear
Yes.
that it has a broader impact, like a more personal impact like that. That's really, really exciting.
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit deeper into the triathlon stuff. So I love this name, the Orange Rocket. So orange, most people know this, but it's the color of Bitcoin. So I'm
Yes.
curious to hear, where does this name come from? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
The name Orange Rockets combine two simple but powerful ideas. The orange reflects on our connection with the Bitcoin and represent energy and innovation. The rocket symbolizes speed, power, and moment, and the pursuit of ambitious goals. Together, Orange Rocket catches the spirit of launching athletes towards the full potential, energy, purpose, and determination.
Yeah, super, super cool. I think also something that Harman used to tell me too, and I think a lot of you and the surfer kids, the teachers,
Yeah.
like learning Bitcoin can be challenging. Doing triathlon can be challenging, but I think the mentality of the Bitcoin Akazi and surfer kids community is that it's important to do challenging things. Do you
Yes,
agree with this? Do you think it's important to challenge yourself?
I totally agree to challenge yourself. Sometimes you never know if what challenges you is the way for your life.
Yeah.
Sometimes the life. the challenge that we get in life, can go through them just by trusting yourself and trusting your team.
Yeah. Also by doing hard work, which I want to dive into now as well. So you have a pretty intense daily routine, from what I understand. I saw a little bit of what the routine entails, and like I said, I've trained for these races too, and I know
Yeah.
how much effort goes into them. So please tell me, what does your daily routine look like as far as your training?
Uh, Firstly, is they wake up. They have to wake up early, prepare yourself, prepare for yourself the day before. Yeah, but mostly I can put my training strategies as I know it's already here in my head now. From Monday, I know it's a swim. Wednesday is a swim. Friday is a swim. Then Tuesday, I know it's a bike and a break run in the afternoon.
Akona, I'm just going to explain what that means for the audience. So a brick run means that first Akona rides his bike and then he gets right off the bike and goes directly into the run. These are called brick workouts in the triathlon space. I forget why they're called brick workouts, but you have to practice basically doing two of the different events in the triathlon back to back. Sorry, Akona, please continue.
Yeah. So with that, I have to maximize, manage my time. Like if I know I have to do 2 hours and a half in the morning, I have to wake up a bit earlier, maybe 4:30, prepare myself to get out of the house in 5. Then I know 5, 6, 7, 7:30 I'm at home. I'm going for the run at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, I'm already back at home, preparing myself something to eat before I can wash and prepare myself to work. But at least my work is not far from my house. I can walk. Yeah,
And what time does work begin? Do you work from like 9 to 5, or what are your work hours?
yeah, it's 9 to 5.
Okay.
But at least I extended my time since it's winter now. I start a bit at 9:25, my latest at
Okay.
work.
Okay. Speaking of winter, so I was thinking about this. When people think of Africa, a lot of people think, "Oh, Africa, it's always sunny and beautiful and nice
Mhm.
weather." But it does get cold in Mossel Bay,
Yeah,
especially by the water. I know what it's like to get out of bed to try to go do a run here in New York at, 6 in the morning on a winter day. It's hard. It's very cold. It's very difficult to get out of bed. It's still dark out usually. What is it like for you? I mean, I'm sure people think, oh, okay, he just does the work. But some days it's really difficult to get yourself out of bed when it's cold out and when nobody else is there doing it with you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
yeah. To tell you the truth, it's not easy. It's not something easy just to wake up and say, "Let me go." No, yeah, it's mentally and physically test. You have to wake up. But for me, I've already have something in my mind which I'm heading off. So there's no time for me to say no. Today's it's cold. Yesterday was warm. I wish it can be yesterday's weather because I can't change the weather. But we have to go for it. You have to chase the dream, and that's the only way to do it.
I agree 100%. What do you tell yourself in those moments? So you talked about your mentality. You get out of bed, it's cold. You say, oh, do I really have to go get on the bicycle? Do I really have to go put on those shoes? How do you convince yourself to do it each day?
For me to do it, I like to play these motivation videos. Just a morning one, it will hit where it have to hit. That's where I get mostly motivated, getting out of on those cold days.
Okay. Well, who's in these videos? I'm curious to know what kind of motivation videos are you watching? Where do you find these videos?
Mostly on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to follow those guys like Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
those guys who go hard, like Rambo. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
you remember Rocky?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that
I
guy
think
is good.
he's great. And I think that, your story, it's funny, I was gonna phrase it like this, but I think you're like the Rocky Balboa of Mossel Bay right now. And I think it's really exciting that we do this because I think there's a lot of beautiful things about this story. Um, and some of it has to do with Bitcoin. Obviously, being involved in this community that you're involved in was some of the inspiration. But I think what's amazing about that is that now we're starting to see that it's not just about financial empowerment or financial freedom. It's about people pursuing their dreams and their goals. So I'm curious, do you feel like you could have done this without the community you found yourself in, without Bitcoin Ekasi, without Lutando, without Surfer Kids? Do you feel like it was possible to start achieving these things that you're now achieving without that community?
Not really, Frank. I will just tell the truth, not really. Because these guys, they've backed me up a lot of time. And I was also uh, thinking that maybe how will it happen? But they made it happen. Anything is possible. They made it possible for me. Yeah,
Agree. I was going to say it's been that community, but also I think you've had some other sponsors. Am I wrong? I think it's Machankura, some of the other Bitcoin companies from South Africa. Who are some other people that have supported you in the journey?
yeah. Mostly Machangura. He did support me. With I've got a nice bike now. He's the one who supported me
Cool.
with some triathlon gear, techies, wetsuit, which is still good now, and some supplements. Yeah, during weeks or during through the year, Bitcoin Ekasi and the Surfer Kids are the most supporters who gave me most of the stuff that I need, like the
That's amazing.
transport. Yeah, like the transporting from A to B, fueling up my supplements. It's Bitcoin Ekasi. Yes, yes. Also putting me on the uh, training with the groups around Mossel Bay. They are the ones who introduced me to those people. At least now my cycling is growing a bit now, at least.
Cool. Very cool. I've seen some photos and some videos. You do a very good job of documenting your work. I'm going to share a link to Akona's Facebook page, also to his X page, his X account, and Instagram, I believe. So you could follow. He does a really good job of kind of describing the journey and talking about the process. Really, really highly motivational and really inspiring to kind of be able to follow along with what he's doing. Let's go back to training a little bit. I know you have some races coming up. I think there's one race in September that's a little bit longer. That's Olympic distance, which is like half the distance of a half Ironman. Then we have Ironman Mossel Bay in November, if I'm not mistaken. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to prepare for those races as things get a little bit closer? How do things change once race day comes closer?
Uh, when uh, when approaching a race, we have to be, like I said, you have to be mentally fit, physical fit, but also you have to be aware of not exhausting yourself, training hard. But you have to train like mostly of the days, but not so hard.
Yep.
Short distance. But for Ironman, you have to give an extra distance than the expected distance. Then for the small races, like for the 40Ks, 100 and, 40Ks, 1.5 swim, 10K run. Also, though you can't go under, let's say I'm gonna run 8K because I'm gonna run 10K on the race. You have to give some extra
Got it.
work. But when it
Okay.
comes, when the race is near, you have to drop your training your training peaks.
So when it
70.
gets a little bit closer, yeah, we call this, I think, tapering off, right? So you're
Yeah,
as the race gets a little closer, you do a little bit less because you want your body to stay fresh and ready for the race. Racing, some of these races, people who have never done them, these can be very they can cause some anxiety, especially the swim. Everybody starts together and you're like crawling over other people. It's kind of scary sometimes, to be honest. It's a lot of energy, let's put it that way. How has it been adjusting to that? Do you feel like, or are you more comfortable racing now? Because I think it takes a little bit of time, because you can do all the work in the training, but you have to very much get comfortable doing the actual racing. Are you getting to a place where you feel more comfortable in the races?
Yeah, mostly now I'm getting there. I'm getting comfortable. Even for my swim, it's getting better now. And the way I have to position myself, they have to be only you have to be ready for that. Okay, let me position myself on this way, not in the big group. Just maybe stand on your left or on your right, not in
Yeah.
the middle of the group. You get confused. There's someone is coming this side and someone is coming this side. Someone is kicking in front of you. So you have to be able to control yourself.
Yeah. You have to control your heart rate, your heart and your sugar regulation, because you need the
Yeah,
glucose for the race. It's a lot. It's a the Ironman stuff. It's very psychological. It's not just a physical thing. It's a very psychological thing for sure. With the two races that are coming up, the Olympic distance and then the half Ironman Mossel Bay, what do you hope to achieve? What are you hoping to achieve in these races?
I would like for the Ironman. I would like to be on the podium if I can
Okay.
push. Both of them,
Would you?
I would love to be in the podium, maybe on the top three. That's where my goal is to push now. Because the last one I did well also on the last Ironman, which was here in Mossel Bay.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
To be on the podium, does that mean for your age group? Are you looking to do that, or for the whole race? What does that exactly mean to be on the podium?
I would like to be on my age group for me to make it
Okay.
the
And for
top three.
those, yeah, for those who don't understand, so with Ironman races, I think you aspire to do like world championships, let's say in half Ironman, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you explain how that works a little bit? What do you have to do in Ironman Mossel Bay to qualify then to maybe compete in world championships?
Yeah, for the world to qualify to the world, we have to do the half Ironman in Mossel Bay. Sorry,
No worries.
and and you have to do the Durban one. That's where you get a slot.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh, so you qualify in the Durban half Ironman.
yes,
You can't.
yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So the way that it works, there's certain races in the world with Ironman where you qualify, and
Yeah.
if you in Durban, what do you have to do? Do you have to come in the top three, the top two? How does it work for your age group to qualify for? Yep.
You have to be on the top three if I'm correct, if I'm
Okay.
100% correct. Yeah, you have to be on the top three to get the slot to the Worlds.
Okay, understood. So top three for your age group.
Yes.
And do you feel that you're on pace to do that? Are you preparing to do that right now? Do you feel?
Yes, with all my training, I'm preparing to do that, friend.
Love
That's
that.
the
Very cool.
that's the way forward.
I love that. So beyond, we want you. We can't. I know that. I believe you're going to do it. I can't wait to see you compete in these world championships. But what is your ultimate goal? Obviously, competing in the races is amazing. What are you want to do? Are you looking just to say, oh, maybe go on to full Ironman after this and do Kona? Kona is the famous world championship full Ironman race. Personally, what is your ultimate goal? Is it just to compete in these races? Is it something else? Are you trying to set an example for people? What is going through your mind when it comes to approaching these milestones or these goals?
For me to do these races is to show the community that we live on. We can do something which which mostly of us we don't think we can do it, and with our backgrounds, we think we cannot achieve some things like the other people are achieving. But on that, we have to put something. You have to show up. You have to do. You have to have a role model. So, in my side, I feel like a role model for these kids to watch me because mostly of them they share me when they see me in the location, maybe going for a run in the afternoon. They will be like, "There's the orange rocket going for the second session for the day." which we had a session at the sea. But yeah, is to uplift our community also, friend, to bring to bring a new sport in our community, because mostly in our community what they focus on is soccer.
Okay.
And yeah, most you can ask anyone about soccer, they will give you answers like this. But come to triathlon, come to surfing, they will first, oh, let me go and check my Google and check. But I would love to see one of the kids, maybe here at the Surfer Kids, also becoming an Ironman in one day.
Yep.
If I'm still here, I would love to give them some tips or give them some trainings also to the Ironman, because I see there's a lot of potential in these kids that were training. Sometimes I get also, uh, I get that idea. If I see a child swimming, I would I would love to see him in the worlds, or maybe swimming the one water race. Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. And you've seen the Surfer Kids project had a big moment. I think earlier this year or last year. I think one of the Surfer Kids qualify to compete at the national championships in surfing. I forget what it was. Could you explain that a little bit? But it was a very big moment for the community. I remember. Can you tell me what happened, if you don't mind?
yeah. One of the kids was selected to represent in the essays. He went to Durban for a good training. Now we've got uh, we've got five of them which are selected to represent the Eden side, which is
Wow. Okay.
which is great. Five of the boys in our
And so I'm gonna just want to clarify. So the Indian side, meaning the Indian Ocean,
in Mossel Bay, in
Mossel
Eden.
Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Got it. My apologies. So, and then this is also is this a national championships? What sort of championships is this?
Yes, it's SAs.
South Africa. I just want to make sure.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
So South African championships. Very
yes,
cool.
yes.
I want to rewind just a little bit. You talked about being a role model for these people in the community that didn't have a lot of opportunities. If you don't mind, we have listeners from all over the world for this podcast. Can you explain a little bit about what life is like for people who are living in the townships and some of the people that Bitcoin Ekasi serves, and maybe why seeing someone like you, the opportunities that you're getting and the example that you're setting, why this is so important for the kids? And I think it's important to kind of understand the context here, because oftentimes, especially with triathlon, it tends to be a little bit more of a sport for people who make a lot of money because the bike is expensive and all this stuff is expensive. So can you talk a little bit about this sort of opportunity that you have, and then the example you're trying to set as it pertains to the people, to the who you mentioned, people from where you're from, and maybe the lack of opportunities that exist oftentimes in this space?
Yeah, I can say mostly in our community, it's a poor struggle. We're struggling. That's what I can say. But on that struggle, you can get someone on that struggle. But the most influencing is alcohol in our community and drugs. That's the impact that we face now. The lack of uneducated people, like the parents also don't see what we are doing with their kids as in good, pushing them forward. They still don't have that understanding. But mostly I would like to share that in our community, that there are opportunities that we can get, but you have to get out on your comfortable zone, go on, go on and chase your dream. You never know where your dream is. You can't just sit there in the location. Some of the kids have more talent than we think. Yeah.
100%. And it seems that Herman has told me, Herman is the person who founded Bitcoin Akazi, the Bitcoin Akazi project, and the Surfer Kids. He's told me that what seems to be what's happening there is that people are seeing people like you, and people are seeing these surfers that now are qualifying for the South African Championships, and all of a sudden they're thinking, maybe I can do that, maybe I should do that. Do you feel like overall, even if maybe they're not qualifying for South African Championships, do you feel that people are working harder or maybe believing more that something can change in their life as a result of all of this?
Yeah, the more, as I can say, the more they go to the competition, that's where they get the potential, energy, competition minded, not just competing, taking over. Yeah, because we've got some self competitions here which are happening I think every 3 months. But on those competitions now, I can see the boys are doing good. They are giving everything. They are giving
Amazing.
everything. Yes.
That's
Even on
amazing.
Sundays, even on Sundays, they also come down to the surf. If they see the waves are good, they will ask us, can we go down with them, give them a session. Then we give them what they want, what they wish.
So you're giving a little bit more than even you're supposed to be giving, just because they want to put in the extra work. So you feel sort of a desire to help them in that process.
Yes, yes, yes. That's part of the game here.
Yeah, that's super, super inspiring. So tell us what again, we have two races coming up. Let's talk about maybe the next 5 or 6 months. So we have let's go to Ironman Mossel Bay in
Yes.
November. When is Ironman Durban?
I'm in Durban is next year.
Okay. And is that so next year, what beginning of the year, middle of the year?
I think in June. Yes, in June.
Okay.
I'm in Durban.
Okay. So
Now
you
they
have
shift.
almost, yeah,
I was just so
please.
now they shifted all the full Ironman is gonna be here in Mossel Bay now
Okay.
in January. Then in April they will have a half Ironman in Port Elizabeth.
Okay.
Then in June there will be the one in Durban.
Amazing. So you have almost 10 months, 9 months, 10 months to prepare for this bigger race in Durban. You'll do another half Ironman in between. When it comes to the preparation, is there anything? So, is there a timeline? Like, for example, is your aim to make sure that you qualify for World Championships in this one in Durban? Are you working with your coach, kind of thinking about this psychologically to say like, okay, here's the plan. We want to get it done by this thing, and then get you into World Championships by the following year. Is that what the plan looks like, or are you more sort of going with the flow and kind of figuring it out and just kind of going into each race saying, okay, let's just do the best we can?
It's already planned for the World Champions. I have to go. I have to give everything. My training plan is already planned for the year. It's just every month he just give me a plan that I have to work on towards the races that I'm preparing now.
Okay. And one final question. We didn't touch on it too much. I know you said, and I'm happy to hear this, you stopped drinking, but also with this kind of training, you also have to eat a little bit differently too, right? You have to eat kind of I don't want to say healthier food. Has it been difficult? It's hard. You have to one of the things you have to do is train your body from like the food you're taking in, but also like if you're taking in the gels on the run and whatever you're eating while you're actually doing the race, because you have to provide nutrients to your body while you're racing. Has it
Yeah,
been hard adapting your diet as well to all of this?
yeah, it's been hard. I'm used to my traditional food, like meat. You have to eat meat, fat meat, not just a
Yeah.
meat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But now we have to uh, level up your diet. Like I wasn't aware of eating like porridge in the morning. I was just waking up. If I have to drink coffee, just a coffee, then I will eat a bread. But now I have to maintain myself like on this porridge, on this oats. If I do jungle oats, I go on with the jungle oats in the morning or 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 nutritional porridge.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And during the day, I can't if I have afternoon session, I can't pile up my stomach with lot of food. I have to prepare myself for the next session.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people think, well, if you're doing all this exercise, you need to eat a lot of food, and that's true. You need nutrients, but
Yes,
you have to be mindful of the food you're eating. So it really is like a total transformation. You have to be focused on every level. Akona, this has been super, super cool. I love this story so much. I love what you're doing. I was also for those. I think I mentioned it earlier, but it was a tremendous privilege. I got to do a run with Akona in South Africa in early
I
2025. That was
get
great.
that.
Yeah,
I
I feel like
still
I got to. Yeah, I got the photos too. I feel like I got to run with an absolute legend there. But I just want to give you a little space. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to mention, or any final message for the listeners?
yeah, for the listeners, I would like to thank this moment that you gave me, Frank, to spread my word around the world, to share my story with the world also, and also to share the story of the kids that we're working with. Also, that I would really like to get an Ironman also in these kids which are upcoming now, which I can see there is some lot of energy there, which we
But
can work with, which we can work it, and we can get a good result on that.
is it like a question on that front? When the kids see you running, is it like Rocky, where all the kids run with Rocky in the movie? Are they following you? They're following you around. Are you inspiring some people to actually get up and start moving with you?
Yes, I'm planning on that, Frank. I'm planning now to, if we can start maybe with a running, like uh, all the high performance guys in our Safer Kids. If we can do, maybe if I have an afternoon run after work, we go together. Maybe
Okay.
one morning. Maybe that I will prepare that in summer with them because they are not used to the conditions that I'm used to.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, it's a winter time right now. I forgot about that. Right, so
Yes,
maybe it's a
yes.
little bit tough to do that right now. Please, to everybody who's listening, please go to the show notes because there's one last thing I want to mention. So I'm going to share Akona's profiles, social media profiles. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that Iron Man is paying attention to what Akona is doing and also some other sponsors. So what I'll do, I'll speak with Akona off camera. I'll make sure to list the sponsors that we want to get the attention of because, again, this is a very expensive sport. So getting some help from sponsors can be great. So if you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram or you're on X, what we want to do, and Nostr or Primal, what we want to do is tag people, tag some of these sponsors, and make sure that they see that Akona is doing the work day in, day out. So if you're listening to this, please go to the show notes, check out some of the sponsors we mentioned, check out Akona's social media profiles, and you'll see Akona's already tagging some people. I'm already tagging some people, some organizations, like I said, Ironman, sponsors, etc. But we need as much help with this as possible. We want to get the world behind what Akona is doing. We want to make sure that we can help him get the financial support and the other support that he needs. Because once he qualifies for world championships, then you have to pay for travel and hotel and all of this other stuff. Again, not cheap. But we know that you're doing the work, Akona, and I want everybody out there who's listening to this to understand that and to support in whatever way they can if they feel inspired by this. So whether you're a Bitcoiner or a triathlete or a Bitcoiner triathlete, we want to make sure that everybody knows what you're doing and that they can support in whatever way possible. So I think what you're doing is a tremendous inspiration. We're really excited to watch you continue to do it. And I appreciate the fact that you took some time to speak with us about this today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to you, friend.
Ah, thanks to you. Appreciate the inspiration, Akona. Again, super fun to be back here doing the podcast with a very special guest that we had today, Akona. We'll be coming back, I think, next week with another guest. But again, one more time, thank you all for listening. Akona, thank you for doing everything you are doing, and I will surely be in touch, my friend. We'll talk soon, everybody.
Cheers, Frank. Thank
Cheers.
you.